garage clear. My wife tells me, gave me a couple ideas, a couple suggestions, and she's asking me if I don't want to start making shelves in my garage or my shed. And it's like, why not? Been making shelves for everybody else. Might as well make them for me. Don't mind me, guys. I'm trying to tell Travis something, and do I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. Anyway, so how about you, Jason? Would you do anything? Been working or what?
Yeah. I had the opportunity to go shooting last weekend, and then by the time I left work, the guy texted me and said, "Fire hazard. We're not going to go." So I didn't go, and then they ended up going and shooting at the 100 yard, which not really anything I was interested in that day. Um, um,
After shooting 1,000 yards, 100 yards seems kind of tame.
right now, so there is a real fire hazard. So I didn't do that.
Who knows? Purging it might help.
Yeah, no doubt. But the guy that invited me, he did had his buddy shoot over a chronograph. He was shooting his 6.5, and he's using the Bull Hornady ammo.
Yes.
And they only chronied 4 shots, but there was 11 foot per second difference in the 4 shots.
And bulk ammo?
Yeah, so I got a box of it. I'm gonna take it out with my chronograph or my magneto and try that out. See what happens.
Hmm.
I think that was about it for me. How about you, Travis?
Well, I just got in a bunch of powder, so I'm doing a bunch of test loads, seeing, settling on the loads that I want. Um, got a new shotgun, the Stoeger M3K for 3 gun. Got a new Safariland belt. Did some 3 gunning on Saturday. I think that's about it.
Travis, you sent us some photos here of
Yeah.
some ammunition where somebody's got some real serious problems. Um,
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to share the pictures, but I have some actual pieces of brass here from the guy.
well,
So on
yeah.
our
Go
so when we were shooting, one of the guys on our squad just kept having a lot of issues with his rifle, and I looked down and I saw what was going on. So I picked up a couple pieces of brass. He had at least 20 of these.
up again, please. Okay, yeah, much better. That's a body separation. It's not a head separation, it's a body separation. Jason, could you see that rather? No, I'm not going to do that.
I'm just trying to
Anyway,
check. It looks for some reason.
okay. What does the inside of the just a clean break, like somebody took a knife and cut it around the inside?
Yeah.
Is
Travis,
there? Go ahead, Jason.
can you take?
Jason, I'm not getting any variation. It's perfectly symmetrical.
Okay.
365 thousandths.
That's standard area.
Yeah, it's not moving like at all. So it's not oval.
All right.
I say he did at least 20 that I saw.
Okay, but you're in touch with this gentleman, right?
Well, I sent him an email.
Did the guy build his own gun? Or do you know?
That's one of the questions I was hoping to get answered tonight. I'm guessing he probably did, knowing this individual.
That's a good educated guess. Which is a good way to divide a headspace issue if you don't know how to use the go no go gauge in the chamber.
Yeah, he was having issues with his pistol. I mean, his rifle was just a mess. His shotgun, he was fine because he was buying his own ammo there, but yeah, he was doing reloads on his 45. He would shoot a couple rounds, it would jam up on him. He'd have to smack the thing to get the slide to pop open, and I mean, I just thought it was a hot mess.
Yeah.
Rifle cartridge into that chamber, to see if it'll work or not. Sounds like it really does sound like it's too small. The case too small for the chamber.
Yeah, I think
when we're no experts here.
Well, when we do our next 3 gun, I'm gonna take a no-go gauge, and he'll let me put that in his rifle.
If it closes up on it, then that's definitely the issue. No-go gauge is oversized.
So Jim, if the headspace isn't proper, then basically the chamber is too long. Is that how that works?
If the chamber is too long, Travis, I don't think this is he should be taking advice off the Reloading podcast. I think he needs to take that rifle to a gunsmith. Quit using it and take it to a gunsmith before he hurts somebody, especially himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the last shoot we had, he was on our squad again, and he had a couple of issues then where he would have to mortar his rifle, and I didn't pay much attention to the guy. And then this Saturday, he would shoot a couple, have to mortar his rifle, and it just kept happening over and over again. So then I started paying attention, and I picked up some of his brass, and that's what I found. So,
Travis, forgive me. I really don't understand what you mean when you say he had to mortar his rifle. You talking about slamming it on the buttstock on the ground?
Yeah.
Yep.
In fact, I would do everything I could to see to it that rifle doesn't get used again. I realize you don't own it and you don't have the rights to do anything. But man, oh man, if I had contact with him, it's like, hey buddy, what are you doing? You gonna kill yourself or what? Let me try see if I can bring his picture up, Travis. Where'd it go? There it is. I'm going to try screen sharing. I don't know if it'll work or not. We'll find out. Share. Okay, you see Mike? I'm screen sharing. There we go. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay, what we're doing here is screen sharing, of course, but Travis has sent this in a private message to the few of us. You can see the broken cases right there. Let me pull this down a little bit.
Yeah, so Jim, this picture, I was going to message Mike when I got these pieces that I have. And before I sent him a message, I was looking on Facebook, and another individual posted this image on Facebook with his, I don't remember what he said in there, but this individual was having the same issues.
Right. Okay. Do we need this image up anymore, guys? I'll stop sharing if we don't.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, thank you. Mike, be sure to include the show notes if you would, please.
Yep.
Anyway, no, that's why I say that rifle needs to be deadlined, and that rifle needs to be taken off the rack and put it in the gunsmith shop, until it's found out what the hell's going on with it. It might be reloading, but I don't really see how it could be. If you're going to take in, as long as you don't modify your factory dies, even small base dies, don't work brass that much.
Right.
Anyway, we left Mike out because Mike had another issue to take care of. Mike, did you do anything this week?
Nope.
Ooh.
No, unfortunately, it was really cool. As some of you who tuned in last week know, I wasn't doing half because I had to bail. What nobody realized, and maybe you guys did the next day when it made the national news, but unfortunately, we had a gas leak downtown Sun Prairie. And unfortunately, a guy that I knew pretty well, firefighter, lost his life in the resulting gas explosion. And so last week was kind of really. So between that and then trying to edit, turns out the YouTube audio is even worse than I thought. So I don't know if that's going to be really an option going forward anymore, pulling the YouTube audio down. I am trying to remember to do the backup recording for the digital, but unfortunately with everything that happened tonight. And so we're working on some other stuff on the back end to try and make it better. I'm not sure what's going on with the video feed tonight from YouTube. It's even cycling on mine. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. But it's kind of par for the course with the way this basically last week has gone. I should have lots of downtime to edit, so while I'm sitting there. So that's about it. But other than that, not much new and exciting. From yesterday, maybe. And so now my entire workbench is covered in water. Thankfully, most of the electronics are off the bench, so nothing really got damaged, but everything's soaking wet. And it's plugged directly into the wall right now. So that was kind of the real problem.
You mean like caught on fire, Mike?
No, thankfully. Kind of a mess. I don't really see anything else with it that would give me cause to think that it was, just a standard brass failure. But, and I don't know enough about something like that to be able to honestly give an expert opinion on. So I would kind of go, looking at that, I would kind of go more, unless he's somehow creasing the brass when he's sizing it, or he's sizing it wrong so the bolt slams forward, it's jamming it in there in the first place. If he's jamming another round on top of it, there's no real way to diagnose that. So then again, it's up to the gunsmith.
Well, you see, Mike, the thing is, the neck of the case and the shoulder and the forward half of the body are staying in the chamber after the head is pulled out. Then when the bolt comes back all the way and strips off the fresh round, that's going to drive the fresh round into that broken body.
Right. What I'm just saying is there's no way to tell. My only other thought is if there was, because if you notice, when you look at that picture, they're not all in the exact same spot. So
this isn't a picture of the trap.
There's a lot of truth to that. People have an FTF or FTE problems, and you kind of don't want to pick the brass up.
And the inert bolt carrier.
Although, if he would have stuck the case in there and couldn't get it out, then go home, and Travis and the other competitors would have been safer.
Yep.
That might be an issue you might want to take up with your club management or whoever manages that particular shooting event, Travis.
Yeah,
Just,
I'm good.
you know,
You
a little bug in the ear.
Yeah. You went complete robot for that whole entire statement.
Trying to suggest to Travis that he might want to put a bug in somebody's ear about making sure that rifle gets looked at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jim, I'm friends with the match director, so I'm going to talk to him and see what he says.
Very good, sir.
I was waiting for his rifle to blow up in his face. I thought he'd have a squib or something any time, so I stood away from him.
Yeah.
Well, the other question is, how in the hell did he do on his time? I mean, you know, I've shot 3-gun a couple times, and it's tough, and you're on timing. And, you know, you can't be doing anything like that if you expect to compete.
Well, Jim, there was 28 shooters. He was 23rd, and that's about consistent for this individual.
That's a shame. Anyway. Mike, do we have show notes tonight?
Yeah. I'm just looking at one thing here.
I hit the wrong button, Mike. Good thing nobody was talking. Jeez.
Okay, so here's another question. I am a new reloader, so a new reloader question. I have a Hornady set of 338 Lapua dies, and it does not crimp the neck small enough for the bullet. What am I doing wrong? I appreciate your podcast. I've learned a ton. Thanks, Troy. It just came in on email, so that's what I have for information. What are some of the possible problems, guys?
I actually didn't hear the question.
Okay. Am I coming across okay, or am I quiet?
No.
But he says, I'm a new reloader. I have a Hornady set of 338 Lapua dies, and it does not crimp the neck small enough for the bullet. What am I doing wrong? I appreciate your podcast. I've learned a ton. Thanks, Troy. My initial thought on this is when he means crimp, what he means by crimp is he probably means size. More than
I was just going to say maybe he doesn't have his die adjusted right or die adjusted.
It sounds like if he's a new reloader, we've advocated for many times, at least I have many times, when it comes to shooting ammo like 338 Lapua, there's no need to crimp. There's no need to properly size your brass. You won't need to crimp. There are people out there that would vehemently disagree with me, and they're welcome to. But, you know, if you're going to single load those things, you don't need to crimp. You know, if you're going to make hunting ammo, that's different. But, you know, this is not this new reloader's bailiwick. He's talking about making new to making ammo. Sounds like the ammo won't even fit in the rifle.
Well, maybe it's just me, but the way he's wording it almost makes it sound like the projectile is pretty loose in the casing.
That could be, Travis. That very, very well could be. It sounds good. I mean, we've all tried dropping a bullet into a fired case. We know what's happened. The darn thing drops through. It sounds like he might not be resizing his case adequately, like Mike said.
I concur.
Yeah. Send him. We'll follow up this later. I'm going to send him an email and ask him more questions and get some better info on that. But I'm pretty sure that he just doesn't have it set right, which means, given the fact that he's coming across that, my thought would be he doesn't have it set deep enough. The die is not deep enough. The case isn't going up into the die deep enough, however you want to say that. So he's got, my guess is he probably didn't follow the instructions of turn the die all the way down until it's touching the ram and making sure the ram's all the way up, and then going a little farther. That's going to be my initial guess. And even if it's not crimping properly, then, and large pistol magnum primers. I'm looking for full house loads purely for enjoyment and some serious muzzle blast. I've sent a few downrange, but only a few. Still have all the digits and an intact Ruger Super Blackhawk. Am I pushing my luck? Same question regarding 158 grain 357 mag loads. Until now, my powder for all pistol loads has been tight group. Picked up some HS6 recently as well. My load manuals are Lee and Hornaday.
You shoot a big old hand cannon. Let's hear your point of view.
Okay, so your lead data and your jacketed data are going to be different. If your bullet fits correctly, it fits a little tighter than your jacketed, so it'll create more pressure. So you can use their data, I believe. I've never tried this, so correct me, Jim, but I think you can use the to start out on your cast to make sure you're okay. He dozed off.
Aging Jim.
No, I did.
Aging Jim.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We're supposed to talk, are we?
Oh, we're on the air. Oh, my. Oh, look.
Actually, Jason, we can't recommend that he does such a thing, even though that's why I picked on you, because I know you've done it.
Okay.
I've done it too, using jacket data for lead bullets. But, the first thing is to this particular gentleman, or this Canuckian from Prince Edward Island, you must like to clean barrels, because you're going to get leading. I will tell you that right now. And if you don't, then you're doing something right. Don't change it.
So another thing, if you're buying cast, your bullets, it's possible they're undersized.
But, if he's buying, it's also possible he's getting good, high-quality lead bullets. If he is, more power to him, like I said. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Travis?
So in the past, it's hard to find good data for cast projectiles. So you can spend hours searching the internet, get an idea of where you should start off. And then I have worked up, starting off low, working my way up until I have seen that leading issue. And then I kind of get an idea of how much, your load, you can't go past, so don't get that leading in your barrel. In fact, that's one of the first things that when I started chatting with Mike years ago, is I was having some serious leading issues in one of my pistols, and I just figured out what I needed to do, and Jason's right, the main thing was undersized projectiles. So first I got the correct size projectiles, and then I started low and worked my way back up, till I was happy. It also depends on the alloy of the lead and all that kind of stuff too.
Yep. Yep.
Are you going to see pressure signs, or is it going to destroy the bullet first?
Mike, you're going robot.
Well, that's just awesome.
Ask your question again.
With lead bullets, are you going to see pressure signs, or is it going to destroy the bullet?
You'll see pressure signs.
Jason's right. Oh, God, hopefully you didn't record that.
Record that, Mike. Play it over and over.
Jason's got a point. Jason's got a point. Jason's got a point. Jason's got a point.
So what kind of pressure signs would you imagine you would see, Jim? Like flattened primers, and
Yes, that
is
and
that one of the first things?
tough extraction. Well, you ran into leading. Did you run into any tough extraction?
No.
Okay.
I just got a lot of gas cutting on the projectiles, and it was severely lead in my barrel.
Oh, you were actually able to recover some of the fired projectiles?
Yeah, at our local range, I was able to get in there and pull some out.
Okay.
And then you get, don't you get a lot of black soot on your brass is another sign of gas cutting?
Black soot on the. No, I agree with Jason again. There's a world record. Anyway. No, anyway, to me, that sounds like insufficient charge.
Yep. Case isn't expanding enough.
He agreed with me. He agreed with me.
No, you agreed with me. You just said it first. That's all.
Yeah, so my issue was I had undersized projectiles was the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I did notice all my black soot on them. I don't remember what my load data was then, but I took Mike's advice and I got a different mold, and that seemed to fix it, and I haven't had that issue since.
Are you firing your bullets as cast, or are you actually lubricate sizing them?
They're cast, and then I powder coat them.
Okay, so you're firing them as cast, powder coated.
Yes.
That'll solve it.
I was powder coating them then too, though.
But you see, Travis, what you're doing is you're actually firing my bullet that might be. Have you cast bullet right there, handy that you could mic?
Yeah. Well, they're all sized to 3.56 right now.
Okay, that's undersized then. Unless that's what your handgun requires.
They were. They used to be 3.55.
That's undersized.
That was way undersized.
Or is this for
3.56 for my? It's size for those.
Forget size. You see, I have a 357 Magnum. 358 would be a better size choice. You know, 1,000 over bore size. Okay, but anyway, so please excuse me. I did what happens when you assume something. ASS, you, me. But anyway, no, you should. I'm glad to hear you got it resolved. But anyway, so you're firing your bullets as cast, 3.56 diameter, and you're powder coating them, so that's lubricant. Well, you're good to go then, buddy. But you know that already. You don't need me to tell you. I have a little fodder I'd like to throw out there, Michael, if you don't mind. Okay. My fodder is basically, I want to throw an idea out there to our listeners out there in listener land, and you know where to post your answers over in Reloading Podcast group. Let me clear my throat. The question I got is, what instead of running a power line from my house, like Mike and several other people have given me excellent advice to do, what if I were to take and put solar panels on my roof and build myself a solar power plant sufficient to handle the needs of a 10,000 BTU air conditioner and lighting and so on and so forth? I've actually done a little research. 10,000 BTU air conditioner only needs about 22.7 kilowatts per hour. And what I'm talking about is, I'm going to need I was thinking maybe put in a 5 kW solar power generation system. That I realize it includes batteries for storage of the power and all like that. But what do you guys think out there in listener land, in podcast land? Tell me what you think. And Mike, you're welcome to take and chime in on it right now if you want to, or stay away from it, whatever. I don't, it's up to you, buddy. You're all muted, Mike.
All right. I think if you can get a system that'll provide more power than you need and have an appropriate storage capacity, then it would be. The thing I would worry about is your solar going to be getting you enough power and storing enough for, say, a couple of hot, rainy days.
If not, then I just simply would have to wait.
Yeah. Because
I walked in that shed today, and it was all closed up, and it was like a physical slap right clear across my body. Wham!
Yeah.
So obviously, I'm going to have air conditioning, insulation, the whole 9 yards. But anyway, to me, it seems like it would be easier to do it that way than it would be to try to dig a line through the shard. And the other thing is, too, the return would be I get free power.
Yeah.
With running the line like you had advised from my main panel out there in the garage, that would still involve my monthly electric bill.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm asking the listeners to take and let me know what you think.
Solar gets pretty expensive, though, Jim.
Yes, I know that, Travis. Only on the initial outlay.
Jim, what I would check into.
Probably got a good rebate for the elderly, too.
Definitely.
Once they see you, they'd probably give it to you for free, Jim.
Anyway.
Pull that money out of your wallet. Is it stuck in there?
I'll even buy you the food and beer.
You gonna drive me there?
No, nor am I going to play your plane ticket.
I don't want to fly anyway.
I know that.
All right.
Anyway,
So we've got a review.
that's all I got.
And it's from Tex Topcat, rating 5 stars. Good, useful information and advice. Very detailed descriptions and pitfalls that might happen during the reloading process. The guests and hosts have much experience and it shows. My only complaint is they spend most of the show on rifle reloading, and I only do 9mm 45 ACP reloading. Would like more on the pistol side, but there is much of the rifle information that carries over. Thank you for the advice. And we've actually got a question that came in about loading 45. So we'll make sure we do some stuff on some pistol loading. So pretty soon here. Yeah. Usually with the starting over, it usually winds up being rifle heavy because there's a lot more issues that you run into with the rifle reloading than you would with the pistol or a straight wall reloading, and that's kind of why that's heavy. But we didn't really. Usually we cover pistol a bit, and we didn't really this time. So we'll make sure we get some out there, and we'll give you some tips and tricks for 9 and 45, whether it's single stage or doing progressive stuff. And on that note, want to take time to thank everybody for tuning in, hanging with us, especially as we're trying to get the audio cleaned up so it's really good. Thank you for dealing with the technical problems we've had the last couple of weeks for the live shows. Unfortunately, I don't know what's wrong with YouTube tonight, but the video feed is absolute crap. So, not as far as we're concerned, but as far as watching it live, it's not streaming. It was constant lag and constantly had to refresh the page, and then it'd go for a minute or two, and then it'd lag again. So I'm sure it'll be fine once it's done and uploaded. So if you like watching the YouTube video, it should be. Just unfortunately for everybody that normally tunes in live, it was crap. So.
And they left.
Yeah, and I don't blame them. So reloadingpodcast@gmail.com. The texting or voicemail 608-467-0308. And you can reach us on Facebook, MeWe occasionally, Gun Groupie. We're trying to make a little more presence there. If you have questions, send them to the reloadingpodcast@gmail.com. Post them in one of the various forums, whether that's the Reloading Podcast page or the group, if you belong to the group on Facebook, or on the Reloading Podcast page on Gun Groupie. You can message any one of us on Facebook via private messenger and get a hold of us that way too. If you have a question that you need answered right away and you don't want it necessarily saved for the show, swing over to the Reloading Room on Facebook. It's an open forum, so you can actually pop in and you can read everything that's been posted. All the questions have been asked. You can use the search feature and search all of the different posts and get some really good information and great feedback pretty quick. And it's a great resource. So,
Troll free zone.
yes, it is. It's a troll-free zone. It's very family friendly. So.
Very policed, very well organized. Well, we're weak on the organization, but it's very well protected, very well taken care of.
Yes.
We have an extraordinary admin team. Extraordinary.
Yep. If you're looking for targets, whether that would be paper targets, so we can have musical.
Director bought those target hit indicator systems. Flash lights when you hit them. It's perfect.
That'd be good to use for the paper. You already know it.
Yeah, but when the older you get, you know.
Oh, so what you're saying is the lights would be good for Jim because he can't hear. Jim, he's reached that age that the light's not.
Oh, there's a lot of merit to your statement. Seriously, there is a lot of merit to the statement.
Trigger time.
Shooting is shooting. And I know exactly where my air rifle is, and I have plenty of ammo for it.
Well, there you go.
What kind do you have, Jim?
It's a size caulking rifle.
Yep.
An air rifle.
Yeah.
Took an air rifle with them. Yes, they did. No need for ammo, but have to have some kind of pellet.
Yep. I think not protection, so that's why the air rifle was perfect versus the having a regular black powder firearm, because then they didn't have to try and figure out a way to keep the powder dry.
Well, they did take powder driven firearms with them.
Yeah.
But you see, the thing is, that was for self-defense. The air rifle was for food, like as you said, because there's no need for any munitions of any sort whatsoever. No powder streams, nothing like that.
Yeah.
And I do believe, I could be wrong, but I do believe that particular rifle is in the NRA Firearms Museum.
I know it's in a museum somewhere. I don't know if it's there.
Anyway, that was actually a pretty good one, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And on that note,
You're a turd.
thank you. Thank you very much. I am